Totoro.
Hey there, interwebs. It's Monday, January 26th. The hummingbird's heart rate can reach 1,260 beats per minute. I'm Russ.
I'm Eric.
And this is Context Not Found. The holiday of the day is Australia Day. And speaking of Australia, this day in history, in 1808, was the Rum Rebellion. And the funny thing about the Rum Rebellion is that it was the only successful, albeit short-lived, armed takeover of the government in Australia. Because, Australia. And if you don't know, just, Google Australia. You'll figure it out. National hero is a criminal, Ned Kelly. Founded by, as a penal colony because Britain could no longer send their convicts over here. Actually have a video with the history of Australia. You should check that out for more information. But now let's just jump into our first intro topic.
What would that be?
What you wrote down last week, browser choices.
Oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
I was actually going to ask you, did you actually include any of those topics this week?
Both of them, yes.
Oh, okay. So, I don't remember what the other one was.
Yeah, you do.
Browser choices and, was it movies?
It's on the screen right behind you.
Oh, Totoro.
Yeah, that's
so,
topic one. Intro topic, browser choices.
Ironically, I just sang that song at the beginning because I felt like singing it. Mostly because my screen behind me reminded me of it. I actually had completely forgotten that this was going to be a topic today.
Just leave that in at the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like you have to at this point. How highly appropriate. Anyways, so browser choices. Would you care to start?
Yes. I used to use Internet Explorer up through the first half of high school, and then I switched to Google Chrome for basically one reason, and that was my friend had Google Chrome, and I envied his ad block. Because I got sick of watching 30-second ads on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the main...
And then I discovered all these wonderful extensions and apps for it, such as the XKCD substitution extension, which replaces, among other things, the word force with horse. So I like to see a lot of ads for Star Wars 7, The Horse Awakens.
Nice. Well, personally, I am a fan of Firefox. I can't...
You would be.
What's that supposed to mean?
Absolutely nothing. I just felt like saying that.
So, I honestly can't remember what the initial reason was, as to why I switched to Firefox. I think I did it probably about 4 or 5 years ago, probably in early high school, mid-high school. I switched. I think it was mostly because I liked their sync feature. Firefox has this option where you can actually sync your tabs and your browsing history and your bookmarks to a online service, so any Firefox browser that's signed into your account will have all of your history and browsing and other preferences saved and synced. So I think between my home computer and the computer
Chrome
I
does
use
that
at
as well.
school, yeah, I found out that Chrome does that too, apparently, but yeah.
Chrome's getting better as it goes because it's still relatively new.
I don't know if Chrome always... I don't know when Chrome started having that option, but...
relatively young, sorry.
Yeah, but...
Sort of swallowed the word at the end there.
But yeah, so anyways, that was, I think, the main reason why I initially made the switch. I can't really tell. And I do like the fact that it has... And then, for a while there, I also got fancy with the themes. I haven't tried doing it with any of the newer browsers, but back, a couple years ago, themes used to be a big deal in Firefox. You could actually change, the color and add, custom pictures and stuff to your browser bar and everything.
You kind of do that with Chrome as well.
Yeah, and you can make... There were some really
Chrome
cool
and Firefox
ones.
Are very similar these days.
They are. It's
just what control function does what.
Yeah, they've become actually very similar nowadays. I don't know if they weren't always, I think, as similar as they are now, but
And then there's Thunderbird.
That's a mail client. That's an email client.
Then what am I thinking of?
Safari.
No.
Netscape.
No. And before you ask, not
Opera?
Opera or Ice Weasel either.
Damn.
There's
No,
another
I don't
one
know.
that's Mozilla.
Oh, are you talking about Aurora?
Could be. I just remember that none of those three work on Campus Cruiser for our school's like online presence
Oh, but
for academics and stuff online for the underclassmen. Works for me, but not the underclassmen, ironically. So
but
you do have to switch over to Internet Explorer for that at least. So I guess I can't delete that from my programs yet.
But
The other day I installed Firefox for shits and giggles just in case, you know.
Yeah, just in case. I actually have. I do, even though
Not
I
even
don't
just in
use-
case, literally just because I was bored and decided to install Firefox.
I actually do have Google Chrome installed on my computer, though. It's not my default browser, but I have it installed just so I have a second browser to default on if I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Which has happened to me before, albeit not very often. It's only happened like once before, but I've had to use another browser to download a fresh copy for some reason.
I saw a thing, I think George Takei shared a picture on Facebook that was like, my cousin asked me to upgrade her browser from IE to Chrome, and it seems a little insecure because if you Google Chrome on Internet Explorer, the first thing that comes up is like an IE pop-up ad that says, "Did you know that Internet Explorer is faster than Chrome?" Like, no, don't leave us.
Yes. But yeah. Shoot.
We have your browser history. We'll use it against you.
That's Google for you. Google knows everything about us.
Google could have taken over the world by now and probably already has. They're just either benevolent or ambivalent.
Yeah. And
Google, why do you need these military-grade robots? No reason.
Would anyone really be that upset if Google decided to just take over the world?
Like, overtly, as opposed to what they've already done, which is practically.
Well,
They have taken over the world in a practical sense.
yeah, which is why I still love Google. Even though Google has become the almighty internet superpower Google, I still all hail Google. Because Google has made the most practical of all internet stuff.
So, the thing, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. See, also Apple, Microsoft, and Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Google Chrome, or Google in general, seems to be long-lived and generally well-meaning.
Yeah.
I mean, they do a weird thing every so often, but
Like their Google smart car or their Google driving car, self-driving car.
no, I mean weird thing is in like unpleasant. Like you need to create a Chrome or like an actual Google Plus for YouTube or something.
Oh well, yeah. I don't
really know how that works because I already had a Google Plus and a YouTube account, so they just synced for me, and I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that was the same thing for me. I was part of that Google when that whole kind of Google merger happened. I was part of that generation where all of my different services just got merged together, and so yeah, the Google Plus just sort of got worked its way in there. So even though I don't use it, it's just there.
Yeah, I've used Plus on occasion, but then inevitably go back to Facebook because even if I put stuff on Plus, there's nothing on Plus really to look at.
Yeah, mostly because not many people use Plus.
I was reading a article in a German magazine a while back. Used the phrase Geiststadt, which is German for ghost town. Like Poltergeist and
Yeah.
and
Well,
but it's like a slightly different meaning. But in this case, it was the same.
mm-hmm.
And once I figured out what that word meant, the article made a lot of sense.
And
And you know how I figured out what the word meant?
how's that?
Google Translate.
Yes. See, I mean, Google has so many useful features. I mean, between
Albeit Google Translate doesn't always or usually get the syntax correct.
That's
what
Gmail,
Reddit's page for Ask Linguists is for.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say I was gonna list off some like awesome Google products that I think were always like really good. So Google search first and foremost, I think has always been one of the better searches, because
But Bing has pictures.
yeah, unfortunately,
There's a lovely ad where they approach random people on the street without technical computer knowledge. It's like, which browser do you like better when you do a search? And they hold up Google Chrome next, Chrome next to IE, or Chrome next to Bing.
yeah, and it always goes for Bing. Yeah, me being the engineer.
I'd like to see their sample size and results, not just what they chose to show in the commercial.
Yeah. So me being the engineer and me having a lot more technical searches than not, I found that Google gives me much better results than Bing does. Bing is great for things like food and actors and
Is it?
other things. No, I mean it's okay. Google does a good job too, but
What I like about
Bing
Google
has
is
its pretty pictures.
I can search like name a movie.
I don't know.
Robin Hood.
Totoro, since we're going to be talking about that.
Okay, yeah, I guess Totoro. I can look up Totoro cast, and it will give me the bar along the top, and then I go, hey, is that Pat Carroll? Why do I recognize her? So I click on Pat Carroll, and then it links me to that and like her recommended works, which include like The Little Mermaid, where she's Ursula, and then you can click on that and sort of get to Disney movies, and it all flows very seamlessly together because it's like predicting what you're gonna go.
And that was on the Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I haven't used Bing enough to know, but
I don't do restaurant searches on Google Maps, so I can't talk about that much.
I do actually do that occasionally. Do a restaurant search on Google Maps. But anyways,
speaking of Google Maps, you need to get your accuracy for walking paths down to the nearest foot. I keep trying to find out the efficiency of my walking routes, and they're all roughly the same.
I will get you a more accurate result.
I just want to get one of those like sticks with a wheel on the end of it that measures out the meters with clicks.
Click, 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 click. Shoot, was that
No, it has a counter on it.
Was that 732 or 735?
Walks back to the start. Click, 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 click.
Yeah. Yeah, you would need to get one with like the self-counting wheel. But yeah. Where was I gonna? I was gonna go somewhere with that. Not with the wheel, but the
Hawaii.
one for it. Yes, I would actually like to go to Hawaii. I actually have a. Who was it that I was talking? Oh,
I'd like to go to Vermont where they actually got snow.
It was another one of my friends that I was holding this conversation with. We were talking about places to travel to, and I was listing off my places of where I would like to travel to in my lifetime. And my other friend just, for whatever reason, he just did not see the appeal because he is not a big traveler whatsoever. So yeah, he did not see the appeal of traveling to like any of these places. And I listed places like, France, Germany,
UK.
But yeah, just like UK, Europe in general. Australia, New Zealand.
It's an incredibly vague reference to the song "Dancing in the Street."
When
they're yelling places at the beginning, they say France, Germany, and then UK, and like that phrase of voice. So something in the way you said France and Germany just triggered that in my head.
But yeah, but anyway, so they're just a few of the places that I'd like to go to in my lifetime. But and my friend just did not see the appeal whatsoever of just traveling to these different places.
I want to go to Hell, Michigan, just so I can say I did.
I've gone to hell, yes,
and back.
And you need to send some letter or some kind of postcard.
A letter from hell?
Yeah.
No, that's from Jack the Ripper.
They have a post office in hell, and you can actually send like letters and stuff, and it'll be postmarked hell.
Yeah, but Jack the Ripper left a note for police. Those referred to as the letter from hell.
But yeah,
the postcard from hell. Wish you were here.
Yes.
Go to hell.
I'm already here. But how do we suddenly got off browsers and on to travel?
You asked where was I going with this, and I said Hawaii. You lost your train of thought, and I derailed it all the way into Hawaii.
Yeah, that's right.
Across a bit of an ocean to get here.
So
we need that helicopter that runs underwater. Bit of a death trap. But the spark was there.
That is a reference. Giving context.
Yes, giving context.
Yeah, so
Not to be found anyway.
yeah.
I like how this is called context not found, because a lot of what we say we have to immediately contextualize, because it's all inside jokes.
Yeah.
Look,
So we chose
look
a
up
very
Eddie Izzard lawnmower if you don't get the joke.
we chose a very appropriate name for our show, didn't we?
This was like on the list of 20 to pick from as well that were all like more or less self-deprecating and completely non-descriptive.
Laughing as I try to drink coffee. So
I'm gonna move this drawing of mine before it gets one or more volumes of liquid shot on it.
I'm not usually a projectile laugher unless you like really get me going and it comes out the nose and all of that. But
well, you know what? Australia. I keep coming back to Australia.
what is it? But anyway, go on.
In Australia, vomiting is sometimes called, what is it, a Technicolor yawn. Although I was at a Ren Fair once and the sword swallower was like, and if you feel the need to vomit, please feel free to let it fly. And don't feel the urge to hold it in on my behalf. I consider it projectile applause.
Well. So
Yeah.
we've hit our 15-minute mark. I think we've covered the intro topic sufficiently.
Yep. We've abandoned the intro topic. It's time to go to the nerd joke of the week. So, without looking at the screen, Eric, what do you call a 7-ounce steak?
7-ounce steak?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A prime cut. But how much hot coffee do you have left to throw on me for that?
Not enough.
Also, you put cream in there. It's probably at, like, slurp off the faceable temperature.
Yeah, I mean, it was warm when I first poured it, but it's gotten cold at this point after about close to 20 minutes.
I'll just have to glass you with the mug.
And I have a big mug for that, too.
Yes. That's like a mug and a half of volume.
I'm drinking coffee
Good
out.
listener.
I'm drinking coffee out of a soup mug, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot bigger and a lot thicker than probably a conventional mug.
And that's our show for today.
As I beat Russ senseless with a soup mug.
Is this reinforced? Yes, damn it.
Anyways,
The foreign phrase of the week is Valar Dohaeris. This is sort of an easy one, but slightly more obscure than the Valar Morghulis. That's for my Game of Thrones watching listeners. By the way, last week, you called me out on having a lot of phlegm in the pronunciation of that.
oh yeah.
Last week's was Hechlu Mechach Jajvam. And I had to use a lot of phlegm because it's Klingon. And the phrase is possibly the second best known Klingon phrase. Means today is a good day to die. And my personal motto, but better for someone else.
Nice.
Try not to projectile laugh on the laptop. I can't move that.
No, I'm not going to. So.
Yes, let's
Sports.
talk about. No, that's news.
Ah.
We do news after the first topic, which happens to be Studio Ghibli. Yes.
Yay!
Woo! Finally.
Yeah.
Tried to do this one last week, and that didn't work out.
And when you said first topic, I'm like, wait a second, did we cover our first topic already?
There's intro topic and then topics 1 and 2.
Oh, fine.
The intro topic doesn't usually tend to be a topic, as us just rambling until we can get far enough in to do a joke.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, so topic 1, Studio Ghibli. I love how
Context.
I love how after I do that, you just like trail off like, what were we gonna talk about?
Yeah, I was trying to think of the word, and I just made up a different one instead. Pre-context. We've been doing Ghibli week from what was that, Saturday to Sunday.
A little bit long. It's been a little bit more than
Sunday
a week.
to Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been doing. Bottom line, we've been doing Studio Ghibli week. Ghibli or Ghibli? I'm never quite sure how to pronounce that properly.
I think it's Ghibli.
Okay, but anyway,
It's Ghibli. So it wouldn't make sense for it to be a soft G.
Yeah, I think it's Ghibli, but
I happen to have a piece of paper taped to the front of my desk with the movies we watched in the order they're in.
oh, okay. So why don't you go ahead and list those off?
Forget if it was Saturday or Sunday, but we started with Kiki's Delivery Service, then we moved on to Spirited Away, then My Phone Buzzes, then we watched Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind, then Howl's Moving Castle, then Princess Mononoke, then My Neighbor Totoro, and then what, Ponyo?
Yes.
And then Castle in the Sky,
Yes, that was the latest one.
which I keep wanting to call Castle on a Cloud, but that's a different thing. Castle in a Cloud.
Yeah, but anyway, so, yeah.
It also happens to be the order to, well, up until a certain point, the order of, like, Ghibli seriousness.
Yeah. It's like we got progressively more serious as we went on, and then we did a complete 180.
And then we got to Mononoke, we couldn't go any farther, so we went back to the beginning and started with Totoro and then Ponyo.
Yeah. It's like complete seriousness all the way back to probably the least serious of all.
And then we finish Ponyo and go back up to something more serious with Castle in the Sky.
Yeah. Which is a very good movie, I must say.
So besides just name all the movies, do we want to discuss anything about them?
I was going to say, what are we actually going to speak about these movies?
Was Castle in the Sky the 100%er?
What do you mean?
On Rotten Tomatoes.
I can't remember, but one of those movies was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which I have never seen happen before.
Yeah, I must say, I don't think I've ever seen it before.
And then because we're nerds, we actually, and it had, what, 25 reviews?
Oh, yeah.
It had 25 reviews, and then because we're nerds, we spent the next half hour figuring out the statistics for, like, okay, how many people could not give this 100% and have it still round up? What's the lowest someone could give it if 24 people gave it 100%?
Yeah,
Figured out all the equations, made matrices, almost had an Excel spreadsheet pulled up.
So basically...
We broke out the whiteboard.
Yeah, we did.
Got serious.
We broke out the whiteboard. But yeah, so basically we figured since Rotten Tomatoes uses whole percentages, so no decimal points.
So I say integers, it's like, no, 1 is an integer, 100% is 1. Everything less than that cannot be an integer.
But yeah,
zero.
whole percents. So we determined, okay, if 25 people are rating this, what's the lowest that, you can get in terms of percentages that someone gives and still round up to 100. And we determined that of the 25, you could lose no more than, 12 percentage points. So basically, either 12 people could rate it 99 or one person could rate it like 86, and you could still like round up to 100 or something in that ballpark. But anyway, so that was the context for that, to explain it for all those people who weren't following.
So Russell just looked at the clock and noticed that it's about 10 after 5 right now, and we have to record for another 40 minutes. So, but I have to leave for work at about 20 of 6.
So
this episode's going to be a little short unless Eric wants to fill out for time at the last 10 minutes.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I might fill out for time. We'll see.
I mean, the conversation itself may just find a natural way to curl up and die short, but this episode's going out late and it's going to be short, so sorry to disappoint you, dear viewer.
And at
listener.
the rate that this topic is going, I think it's going to curl up and die pretty quickly.
I don't know. I like to think that we do have one actual viewer who just like stares at the screen the entire time.
Yeah.
Actually, no. This is how I'm going to guarantee someone watches this video. I always use the still image of the microphone for these things. However, this time, stop doing that. This time I am going to splice a single frame of pornography somewhere into an hour-long video, and I guarantee you someone will watch the whole thing. And it's not going to be at the very end or the very beginning. It'll be somewhere in the middle. Maybe. Maybe it'll be the last frame. Maybe it'll be like a Fight Club thing at the very end during the credits.
It just flashes
you just don't know.
It just flashes at you.
Have you seen
quickly.
Fight Club? No, you haven't.
I can't remember.
You'd remember if you did.
No, I have not. You're right, I have not. I've seen bits.
I know you haven't watched it because I gave it to you and you haven't watched it yet.
You know why? Because I've seen bits and pieces of Fight Club, like...
Has it been spoiled for you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, you'd know if it had.
Yeah.
Another case of you'll know if you're there.
Yeah. But yes, that's another one of the many, many, many movies on my to-watch list by Russ.
Yeah, but put it near the top.
I know.
I think Serenity.
It is on the top. But jumping back to
Studio
Ghibli.
Totoro.
Since I guess that's what we were actually going to center the topic around.
Actually, we were going to center it around Nausicaa last week, but Totoro it is now.
Fine. It really doesn't matter. Because I find it funny, when you and me were talking after
His computer background right now is Totoro, that's why I picked that.
Yeah.
Even though the monitor is off.
Yeah, but, oh yeah, and so I'm running Windows 8, and so for those of you who have Windows 8, you'll know that the lock screen actually has a custom picture. And so that lock screen is actually a picture of the town from Spirited Away, with the lanterns lit up and the spirits in there walking around. And
doing their spirit thing.
Yeah, doing their spirit thing. And then my account picture for my actual account is a soot spray. And then from that's from Spirited Away and Totoro.
Yes.
Totoro first, since that was the first one that came out.
There are a lot of running themes in Miyazaki's works, but there's also sort of these crossover jokes, if you will, like the soot sprites that appear in Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro.
Mm-hmm.
But the fox squirrel from Nausicaa shows up really late in Castle in the Sky, and I'm like, I'd forgotten that one.
Yes.
Well done, Miyazaki.
But yeah, so basically I've been... sorry.
A disturbing thing I noticed about Nausicaa is that it seems to be very eerily familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because you have your main character is a pacifist who's also really good at fighting, has a glider, and an aggressively cute little mammal thing with huge ears.
That is
There's an invading empire.
That's
one of the villains is voiced by Mark Hamill.
That is actually quite surprising.
Strong environmental messages.
Yes. Yeah. So.
And of the Temple of the Wind. He's just giving me this look at this point. That's.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining. I'm just saying that it stuck out to me the first time I watched it. It's like, well, that's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So.
There's something else I wanted to mention.
Where was I gonna go with? There was somewhere
drawing connections with other movies. In Ponyo, in the Disney dub, the Ponyo's dad, I forget what his name is, the sea warlock, wizard, whatever, the sea magician, is voiced by Liam Neeson, whose goal throughout the movie, or throughout the first couple, not acts, throughout the first bit of the movie, his motivation is getting his daughter back. And it's like, Liam Neeson retrieving kidnapped daughter. I feel like I've seen this plot before.
Yeah.
I think being Liam Neeson's daughter is just an occupational hazard people have to deal with.
So, I think we've established that a majority of, the good TV shows and movies stem from Studio Ghibli works.
Also Taken. I'm saying Taken stems from the work Studio Ghibli as well. They're implying that it is not a good movie by omission, or by inclusion. Save my friends, and Zoidberg.
So yeah, there was another place that where was I going to take that?
But what is good about Studio Ghibli? Let's get on to that before this runs away with us again.
Yeah, because we keep running away from the actual topic at hand. I don't know what it is about it, because each movie offers kind of something unique. It offers sort of a somewhat unique story. They're all just very interesting movies in their own regard. So I can't say specifically what's great about Studio Ghibli as a whole, but yeah.
One, it's basically animation porn. Not animated porn, animation porn.
We must clarify.
Yes. You can pause any Studio Ghibli film at any point, and you can print that image out and put it on a wall. And
Yeah, that
call
is
it art.
that is very true, and I do like that about it as well.
The other thing that I love as a character writer is that all the characters seem. It'd be wrong to say human because some of them aren't, but like realistic and relatable. It's like, oh yeah, I understand why they're doing that.
Yeah, the character development is a lot better than a majority of and than a lot of other animated pieces and just some movies in general.
Like the two little girls in My Neighbor Totoro are two little girls. It's not like the little girl stereotype. It's them.
Yeah,
Those are believably real people. And
yeah,
especially like the little character quirks where what's her name? The older sister from Totoro can't walk in the house without taking her shoes off, so she just sort of runs around on her knees.
yeah.
It's like that's such a little realistic thing that you did as a kid,
Yeah,
or would have if you needed to. And there's something else in there that's like just totally relatable, but you wouldn't think to put it in if you weren't thinking really hard about it.
mm-hmm.
From Totoro.
But yeah, it's just they all just sort of have this general theme where they tell a story without going too. They keep it somewhat realistic and kind of believable, but still kind of tell this, this very fantastic story.
Oh, this little slice of life, as the case of Totoro and Kiki's, or this grand epic like Mononoke or Nausicaa.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And the other thing is there is no conservation of detail. In most work, something only gets a lot of attention drawn to it or detail put into it if it's very important. In Studio Ghibli films, because the animation is so good, there's a picture on the wall in the background that would be a plot point in any other show, but it's like, nah, it's just set dress and deal with it.
Yeah.
Do a Google image search for Howl's bedroom from Howl's Moving Castle. There is only one object in the background that is ever called attention to or interacted with, and you would get hand cramps trying to draw that thing, the entire bedroom.
What do you?
Yeah. What were you saying?
I wasn't going to go anywhere with that.
Yes, you were.
No.
Move. I cocked my gun and pointed at him. I put on my wizard robe and hat, by the way, as well.
I don't. All right. So let's talk about.
Just talk about movies on sort of a case-by-case basis now.
No, I was going to talk a little bit more about Totoro, but I don't know how much I want to say about the movie because.
What are you going to
spoil?
About...
That's true, but there's something.
I think it's...
if you kind of know what's going to happen, or if you know some of these little haha details, it's it takes away from the first time you watch it a little bit, I think.
By the way, cat bus, totally creepy. Do not show this movie to your children.
That is exactly where I was going with this. It's that
there's a bus that is a 12-legged cat the size of a bus.
Yeah,
and its eyes are headlights like Smaug from the Rankin Bass Hobbit film, which is sort of.
But yes, that is exactly what I meant. It's if you're familiar with the fact that the cat bus is gonna appear in the movie, it doesn't have that same that same effect when you actually see it for the first time in the movie, because you're kind of expecting it a little bit.
Yeah, but even if someone tells you there's a 12-legged cat bus, it still doesn't prepare you for what it is, nor do you know when it's gonna happen.
That's very true. I agree, but so like I said, that's just me personally, I don't like my movies spoiled really at all when I watch them. Which dealing with
Have you seen The Sixth Sense?
No.
Okay.
But
I was gonna rattle off all the spoilers I know, but then I realized you hadn't seen a lot of these movies. He's Luke's father. 299 of them die. I'm trying to think of the other one. Have you seen Citizen Kane?
No.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Okay.
I could do 20 of these, but you haven't seen any of them, and it's pissing me off.
But yeah. Yeah, my brother was always horrible when it came to keeping like movie secrets because my brother was that type of, and he still is the person who's like seen every movie in existence.
He's seen the Star Wars Christmas special.
But yeah, so a lot of times he will always like spoil something for me. It's like, hey, have you ever uh shoot. Hey, have you seen, movie, X?
Before we go forward, I'm going to qualify this by saying spoilers are likely to occur in the future, so if you haven't seen any of these Studio Ghibli films and don't want parts of them spoiled, go watch them.
Yes. Pause here, go back, watch them, and come back.
Even if you have seen them, go watch them. If you don't want to see them, I don't care. Go watch them.
But yeah, so he'll always be like, "Have you seen movie X?" "Oh no, you haven't." "Oh well, you should go watch it." "Oh, by the way, did you know that like person Y dies?" There's a
beautiful line from American Dad where he's talking about Jeff being unable to keep a secret, and Jeff comes out and tells Stan basically what his birthday present is, and then they go and he like relates it to a movie, and then spoils the entire movie, and then just in like 3 sentences he manages to spoil everything known to man. And I'd say what the movie is and what the spoiler is, but you haven't seen the damn thing, and I know you have it because I gave it to you. I think I may have watched that one on streaming. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah, that's the image. Show that to the microphone. He just spent 5 minutes searching for that image.
No.
I'm not linking in the description. I want to make sure you've understood that you've wasted your time.
No, it's not. It's not that I've spent 5 minutes searching for it. I've only spent about like 10 to 15 seconds googling it.
I'll say I've only spent 10 to 15 minutes searching for it.
Because I've had the tablet sitting in front of me for about 5 minutes with the intention of searching it. I just now got around to it.
Mm-hmm. A likely story. Okay, so Kiki's.
Yeah. So, anyways, where did you want to go with Kiki's?
I don't know. Good movie. I like the cat.
I don't know.
My Dungeons and Dragons Gnome Illusionist also has a cat familiar that's based on Gigi.
Why?
As voiced by Phil Hartman.
Why? God, why is it that when we after we watch all of these movies, we always have like a rather in-depth discussion about these movies and different things that we like and like little
We've had
tidbits.
Discussion. Well, one, it was fresh in our mind at the time, and
we
discussed it and then we deleted it from our brain's temp storage.
Yes, it's kind of it's like, darn it, why can't we have that conversation now in front of the mic?
Don't you love forgetting to hit send?
Yeah, that's always nice too.
I had a text that I replied to a while ago that turned out I didn't. Words.
Words, say, speak,
Talk.
mouth, move.
Mm-hmm. Quite.
Anyways, so yeah, I really do like the cat in Kiki's Delivery Service. I don't know what
I
else.
like everyone in Kiki's Delivery Service, except for the baker. Like, I was reading something about that online to figure out that's, Osana? Is that her name? The baker.
Yeah.
The mom baker. That's her husband.
Oh, I picked up on that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what I assumed, but I didn't assume that. I just assumed he was like the hired hand or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's really it. I'm still saddened because I wanted this whole discussion to be a lot grander than it has been.
What did we watch most recently? Castle in the Sky?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to say about Castle in the Sky that we can remember?
Now I'm trying to like replay the movie in my head to like bring it out of like storage.
Besides the fact that Sheeta suffers from Zelda syndrome.
Oh yeah. So that annoyed me so much how she drifted from being like, helpless
Damsel number 348.
Yes. Into when
in
she gets
princess mode.
Yeah, in princess mode. to when she starts dealing with the pirates and she becomes all like, you know, I can do everything and take on the world by force, and then
not take on the world by force. She incredibly smart. Like
yeah, very
she
very
knew
smart,
it was late
very
in grass
bright.
cutting season, therefore the sun was rising slightly more to the south than due east.
So it's like she's
damn,
very,
those are some fine navigational skills, girl. I didn't realize you had like
any
brain cells
useful
in the double digits before this.
yeah. So it's like so yeah, it's like she goes from being this like very very helpless like seeming damsel in distress to this very bright woman who's like actually like fairly useful around the pirate ship, and then as soon as they like leave the pirate ship and they like get into actually get into the castle in the sky, whatever the actual name
She's
for that was,
Laputa.
Laputa. She goes
And there's the
straight
text.
back. She
Keep
goes
going.
she goes straight back into princess mode, damsel in distress.
Oh, guess I gotta get taken hostage now.
Yeah,
Spoiler
exactly.
alert, but not really because you can see it a mile away.
Yeah, it's not the first time in that movie she got taken hostage.
First time I was watching this movie, they mentioned
How many-
Laputa, and literally the first time I saw it in writing, I'm like, I bet this didn't do well in Spanish. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, Laputa, same spelling, but with a space after the first A, means the whore.
Nice.
The more you know,
Yeah.
the more useful you are in a hostage situation then.
But yeah, how many times was she was a hostage in the beginning of the movie. She broke away, and then she was taken hostage a second time, and then she broke
She's
away
sort
with
of
the
bouncing
pirates.
in and out of hostage situations the
and then she
entire
was
time.
taken hostage again at Laputa. It's like,
But at
holy
least on the
crap.
pirate ship, it was more. It's not like she had a choice, but she wasn't trying to leave either.
No, I didn't say the pirate ship was the hostage situation.
No, I'm just thinking that
it was the pirate ship was how she got out of the captive situation, and then she went right back
there are
into
worse
it.
reasons to become a pirate.
But
But
yeah,
Miyazaki loves his heroine. See what I did there? Miyazaki loves his heroines, but of all the ones in the Miyazaki movies in Studio Ghibli, she was my least favorite.
yeah, I agree.
To the point that I almost don't like her. I don't hate her, I just, she's not lighting my pants on fire. Don't take that in any sexual context, that certainly wasn't implied.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. It's like, do you just get off to all the Miyazaki heroines?
No, just Kushana. And mostly because she's voiced by Uma Thurman.
Okay.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Although the line, whichever lucky man becomes my husband will see worse than that, kind of creeps me out immensely.
Oh.
You didn't catch that?
I feel like I probably...
She pulls off her hand, showing that she has a robot arm, and everyone goes, oh god, and she says, yeah, whatever lucky man becomes my husband is going to see worse than that.
Oh, yeah, that scene. Oh,
Like,
no, I picked up
I can believe
on
this wasn't picked up by Disney, but certainly wasn't made by them.
that. Yeah.
On the other
Oh.
hand, you've got Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame and about a billion other dirty jokes in that, so...
Oh, but yeah, that.
There's a lot of dirty things in Disney movies when you watch them as a 20-year-old.
And so...
Like, that were purposefully and just snuck in there.
Now, yes, there are some... Now, this is the thing with Disney movies and, like, dirty jokes. Yeah, there are some, like, kind of, like, dirty innuendos and just dirty jokes that, like, if you, like, pay attention or you think about it, yeah, they're in there. But then there are those people that, like, dig, like, too hard for stuff, you know?
Yeah, it clearly wasn't implied, like,
What was...
in Hunchback, there's a scene where Esmeralda's basically doing a pole dance on a spear, and Frollo says to Phoebus, look at that disgusting display, and Phoebus goes, yes, sir! There's no other way to interpret that, and it's not subtle.
No. But,
Jumping back to Ghibli.
Alright, fine. But yeah,
I'm trying to keep this train mostly on rail.
okay, fine.
There's something you don't see in Ghibli works too often, actual trains.
Yeah,
I'm
that's...
trying to think, because, like, there's airships in
The-
basically all of them, except for Ponyo, which gets water ships, which are, just as good.
Yeah. It's a majority...
Water ships.
Yeah,
They're
it's
called boats.
a lot of... You're right, a lot of airships, I must say.
And moving castles, and flying castles,
yeah,
and flying people.
and then
You've got witches, broomsticks, gliders, like...
I think, yeah, well, I'm trying to
You
think.
take a plucky girl, put her in the air, and you've got a Miyazaki movie in the making.
Yeah.
Now all you just need is really well-written characters and animation porn.
I think the only time I've actually... Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry.
Bit of a plot, not much.
I was just about to say the only time I think I've ever remember seeing a train in a Miyazaki movie was, obviously, first off,
Spirited Away.
well, yeah, Spirited Away, because she actually takes a train. And then the only other time I can think of off the top of my head was in Castle in the Sky with the armored train.
Oh, yes, that's the tank on rails.
I know, I loved that
Actually,
thing.
tanks started out as armored trains, fun fact.
Nice.
Yeah, I figured that the other day looking up the things for my tank game that we might go into in a later podcast. Write it on the paper.
Yes. But yeah,
Weird that we only come up with ideas for podcasts while talking about other ideas.
that it.
But then we don't stick to those ideas when we do want to talk about them.
I know. And we wind up just coming up with other ideas.
Yes, but plucky heroines, precipitous heights. I'm gonna look at this list of movies. On Kiki's Delivery Service, you've got Kiki, who was, I think, my favorite Miyazaki heroine, flying around on a broomstick. In Spirited Away, you've got Chihiro. My brain was just saying Sen. I'm like, no, what's her actual name? Chihiro. Ooh, not too much flying in that. When she's on the dragon, a little.
Yeah, a little bit. There's not a
There's
whole
no,
lot of
like,
flying in there.
Impressive airships or structures.
Mm-mm.
Even the bathhouse is kind of boring.
Well, then there was the what was the witch's name?
Obaba.
Yeah, there was
Or
Obaba.
Yubaba.
There was Obaba
No,
who turns into a bird.
Okay, there's Obaba and Yubaba. One is from Spirited Away and one is from Nausicaa. And Nausicaa has, Nausicaa on a glider amongst all of the badass airships that I just love the airships in Nausicaa. Actually, I love basically every prop in Nausicaa.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
And I love the what was it called? Not the really big one in Castle in the Sky. What was the term for it?
The Goliath?
Goliath. I knew it was.
Yes!
I knew it started with a G, but yeah, Goliath.
I didn't know battleships flew, sir.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Actually, I still like the, what's the name of the pirate ship?
Oh, the pirate ship was cool too.
Yeah, the bird blimp thing.
Yeah.
The only thing because, like, the open air parts of it and, like, the bridge, the only thing that would have improved it if the cockpit was on the side rather than the front. Because the first time I watched it, I thought it was, like, sort of a Millennium Falcon thing. I like asymmetry like that. But, Hell's Moving Castle, you've got Sophie as your, plucky heroine, even if she is, like, 80, sort of, ish. It's complicated.
Yeah, I started thinking about that
You've
in
got
my
the
head. And I'm
steampunk
like,
sort
what?
of battleships, and Hell's Moving Castle, naturally. So they're your awesome machines, even if they aren't flying most of the time. Princess Mononoke. That's actually relatively tame compared to some other stuff. Your plucky heroine of the movie is, that's how important his name is.
Yeah.
Ashikaga?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I love.
Come on, I like his deer more than that kid.
And I do love how the whole movie.
Although he does get shrug off getting shot in the back, so maybe you could argue that he's at least mildly interesting.
Yeah.
He's kind of flat.
He is a little flat.
But
I'm
San
the
has
thing.
more. No, she doesn't.
I was gonna say the thing I loved about that movie was the fact that the whole movie seemed to center around him, yet the whole.
I just did the imitation of the little forest spirits to mess with him.
Yeah.
Go on.
The forest spirits who like bobble their head and they like rattle, but I was just thinking I love how the whole story sort of centers around him, and yet the whole movie is called Princess Mononoke.
Which is the name of the, what's her name? San. Although she only gets called that once in the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Like, no one ever actually refers to her as that.
But, Yeah, I just.
Although, I love how her introductory scene, she's like sucking blood out of a wolf's wound, and she just looks over across the river at Ashikaga, and like shoots him this glare, and then spits out blood and wipes her mouth on the back of her hand, and like the look on his face is like love at first sight, and I'm like, yes, that is how you do it. If you're gonna play with that, at least give us someone interesting. Oh, she's picking flowers. She must be so interesting. No, she's sucking blood out of a wolf's neck. That is interesting.
Yes, giant wolf at that.
So is that actually a god?
Who the wolf?
Yeah.
Well,
of the like forest demigods, I think.
Yeah, they're one of the forest demigods. Yeah.
I'm gonna quickly run through the news right now, just because I'm about to have to go. In the world of sports, the Phillies will be playing the Eagles, and the Flyers will play the Union, both in Shea Stadium tonight at 7 p.m. Tonight's forecast: dark. And this week in science, sorry if I'm leaning in really close to the mic, I have to. More efficient ball. Again, I'm at the IFLscience.com. More efficient balls, not bigger ones, win mouse sperm race. Yes, they are talking about testicles. Graphene could double electricity generated from solar. Eric?
Man-made chemical plants could be making the polar...
Pollutants.
What?
Pollutants. Man-made chemical
sorry.
pollutants.
What did I say?
Plants.
Oh, sorry. Man-made chemical pollutants could be making the polar bear penis become bone more fragile.
Yes, polar bears have a bone in their penis. It's called a baculum. A lot of mammals have it. We do not. And ocean warming leading to unprecedented loss of coral reefs.
Lucid dreamers show bettering self-reflecting capabilities when awake. Wow.
And because I literally have to go in 2 minutes, I'm going to run through... we don't have any questions to answer, so Q&A session's dead. Please leave some in the comments. Run through the credits real fast. This Week in Science provided by IFLscience.com. Shows written by myself, hosted by myself and my roommate Eric. And our forensic investigator is Ichabod E. Gross. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day. Eric?
What did you want me to say?
I figured you were going to say, like, goodbye or something.
Okay, fine. Goodbye.
You heard it here first, folks.